Good afternoon, I'm Corporal Manti, and I'll be giving you a brief on leadership style. This brief is unclassified, and the purpose of this brief is to help give a better definition and understanding of leadership, the 5 styles that are attributes in the military, and the dynamics of leadership. First thing we're going to take up on is, what is leadership? The Army defines leadership in ABE 6-22 as a person influencing or giving direction and purpose to either subordinates or the people around them. This, outside the Army, this could be anything from like a manager above you or a person beside you in their opinion, or if you're in a leadership position, a subordinate underneath you offering up their idea that can make something work better and smoother. So with this idea, I'm going to move into the 5 different styles of leadership, which are autocratic, transactional, transformational, servant, and followership. First one is autocratic, also known as authoritative leadership. This is usually, the attributes of this are usually individual control, quick decision making, little input from others, and a defined structure. A very iconic figure in history that used this style of leadership was Adolf Hitler. Throughout his career and his reign, he used multiple different styles of leadership, but ultimately at the end, the one that he's most well known for is autocratic or dictatorship, where he wasn't listening to his advisors, did very quick decisions on very little information given to him from said advisors, just what he knew. But he kept a very defined, rigid structure for his military and his civilians around him. Next, we're going to go over transactional leadership, which is also based around structure, but they also focus more on the results, the rewards, and the penalties. This is very common. This is also sometimes known as tit for tat, where if you get this done for me, I can give you this, but if you don't, this is going to happen to you. A very common person in history uses was Charles de Gaulle between World War I and World War II. In his political career, he tended to take very little input from those around him, but to look for reward going forward politically of improving what he thought was determining what was best for his country or his people. After this, we're going to go transformational, which is a very commonly seen in the military. It's generally you generally see it led by a sergeant or another enlisted soldier, or even an officer who leads by example, who inspires others, is proactive in getting something done, and leads with a vision. A common person that we can think of that uses was Martin Luther King Jr. In his speeches he gave to people to inspire them to go forward and try to better their lives and change laws. And seeing at the front of marches where you see him get beat, others get beat around him, and just keep going with this approach or find a better approach to try to improve people around him. The other leadership style we see is servant leadership. This is generally stewardship, self-sacrifice, foresight, and willingness to learn from others. I have a picture of George Washington up here because within our country's history, we see him take ideas like the Blue Book or vaccines or a camp, how his military camp setup is, and rearrange it based on opinions and ideas from other people around him to improve life of his soldiers, of his officers, of the general populace around him. He carried a lot of this through into his presidency, where you see him give up land. He gave up some of his lands to help pay off some of the U.S. debts. He was very vocal in his ideas to improve the people of the nation. With all 4 of these leadership styles, you can't have them without a follower. So the 4th leadership style is followership, which is generally characterized by someone in a subordinate role who has a sound judgment and is willing to give their opinion to those over them to help come up with better ideas. They take initiative to get tasks done before they're told. A person in history that we can see that would exemplify this is Winston Churchill. This is post-World War I and pre-World War II Winston Churchill, not when he was Minister of Defense, but when he was mostly just working on his political career. During this time, he was mostly about God and the country. He didn't take a forefront of leading groups. He more gave his opinion to other politicians, took his judgment, and put his weight where he thought it would be best, and took the initiative to push plans and ideas for the country, betterment of the country, forward. With all five of these, you can take them, break them down into the dynamics of leadership: the leader, formal, informal, the led, and the situation. The leader is generally the person in charge who's inspiring and influencing those around him. But to be a leader, you need one of two things: either a formal leader who has the authority granted by some higher authority, whether it's an officer who has been promoted to a high NCO, or the captain promoting his opportunity given his NCO the authority to carry out this task. In formal leadership, they haven't been given a formal authority, but they are still leading with opinion, either whether they support the role, giving an opinion, taking initiative, getting something done, or just influencing those around them. And then you have the led, the people following. With these people, you have your lower enlisted, junior enlisted, your lower officers, subordinates, who are following the leader, who are listening, voicing, being the driving force behind the reaction taken. And then the situation: what's going on, what needs to be done, how do you do it? Without the situation, there is no leader. Without the leader, there is no led. At the same time, without a situation, there is no led, there is no leader. The situation is what ties all these together. What is leader to you? What style do you use? Where do you think each one can fit in? There are multiple answers to this. None are correct, none are wrong. Every situation is a little bit different. Whether it's need to take full charge and a quick decision on the battlefield, or trying to train someone, leading by example, transformational, or just being the driving force behind the leader, trying to get these goals done. Before we have questions, I just want you to think about, we went over the dynamics of leadership, what is leadership, and the 5 styles of leadership, being autocratic, transactional, transformational, servant, and followership. Is there any questions? All right, thank you. I hope you have a great afternoon.